Welcome to my first Poverty Watch review day, where I review cheap watches so that you can cut costs, squirm your way out of poverty, and live the dream in a mobile home like me. I'll be referring to this battery quartz Casio as the 218. I bought it from a Walmart store for $27. There was no box. The watch came affixed to this plastic watch holder. The watch holder included a Casio 3224 module guide, a warranty guide that had no information about the length of the warranty, as Casio now makes this information as cryptic and difficult to find as humanly possible. Also, there was an instruction page for California use. If you live in California, don't buy the watch. Concentrate on just getting the fuck out of there. I'm reviewing the 218 because, unlike traditional cheap digital watches, it comes with a real bracelet with real links rather than a crappy one-piece bracelet such as this. The 218 comes with an impressive 7-year battery. Its case can be removed by unscrewing the 4 screws on its case back. The 218 supports wrists up to about 8.7 inches. It has a large masculine size, yet I wouldn't consider it too big for my wrist, which is about 7 inches. The case diameter is 44.5 millimeters. The case width is 42 millimeters. The lug-to-lug is 43 millimeters. The case thickness is 11 millimeters. The bracelet fits into an 18mm space between the lugs, so the technical bracelet width is 18 millimeters. However, the first link of the bracelet has a maximum width of 22 millimeters. It tapers down to 18 millimeters at the last link of the bracelet. The clasp has a width of 19.5 millimeters. The watch weighs 86 grams. The 218 is an old-style 3-button type Casio digital, which Casio had seemed to have abandoned at one point in favor of its newer and superior 4-button style, but has, for whatever reason, made the retrograde move of bringing the crappy 3-button back. The problem with the 3-button is that the light button has duplicate functionality. The light consumes a lot of energy, and pressing it will accelerate the decline of your battery. One of the best features of the 218 is the pusher guards, which are there to make it harder to inadvertently press one of its buttons. The 218 offers the same basic features that cheap Casio digitals have offered for the last half-century. There's a daily alarm, stopwatch, hourly chime option, and automatic calendar. I won't be covering any of these features because you probably already know how they work, and you're probably not going to use them anyway, as we now live in the 21st century. What's really important is that the 218 has nice, big, and clear text. While the 218's bracelet is stainless steel, the case is plastic. The crystal is unfortunately plastic as well, which is a little disappointing considering how relatively expensive the 218 is. You're going to scuff the 218's crystal a lot. Some of the scuffs you're going to be able to rub out with toothpaste. Many of them you won't. I would have been okay with a plastic crystal if the crystal were recessed in a fixed bezel like a G-Shock, but the crystal is flush with the case. Aesthetically, I like the design of the 218. Unlike many Casios, the dial isn't too busy. I like the fake rivets on the front of the case. I'm not being sarcastic. The 218 is a very rare minimalist design for a Casio. Be grateful for this. Extremely grateful. Unfortunately, the 218 has only 50 meters of water resistance. Some cheap Casio digitals have 100 meters of water resistance. 50 meters is enough, but I wouldn't go swimming with the 218. The 218's bracelet is not only smooth, but comfortable. It feels like a real watch bracelet, only a lot lighter. The links are made of pressed metal. I'll do a sizing demonstration at the end of this video. I couldn't find any information from Casio on how to size the 218's bracelet, and it's not intuitive. There's a maniac on YouTube that is using a nail and a pliers to size a similar Casio bracelet. Don't do this. I'm able to size the 218 using regular watch tools and without being a maniac. The great disappointment of the 218 is that while it comes with a real bracelet and real clasp, the clasp has only 2 micro-adjust positions. Because the clasp has too few micro-adjust positions, you're going to have a fair degree of luck getting a good fit with the 218. Standard watch clasps have 3 or 4 micro-adjusts. If you assume that Casio is targeting budget consumers to screw by giving them inadequate clasps, this is not the case. This $2,400 Casio Oceanus Manta has a clasp that appears to be about the same length as the 218. While the Manta clasp is probably a quick adjust, the Manta should have a proper size glide lock at this price point. For me, nothing beats the feel of a real bracelet. If you're lucky enough to get a good fit with the 218, I think it'll probably be one of the best cheap digital watch experiences you're ever going to find at the 218's price point. I wasn't able to get a good fit with the 218. 2 micro-adjust positions are always a gamble. I'll leave it up to you to decide whether or not you want to take this gamble with the 218. Note that the 218 has a plastic band variant. You probably can't go wrong with the plastic variant, though you do sacrifice some comfort with plastic. Also, the metal bracelet will probably last vastly longer. I'll be giving my 218 away free to the winner of my contest that I'm announcing now. To qualify to enter this contest, you must be a U.S. citizen. It just costs too much to ship outside the U.S. Also, you must be a subscriber. To win, guess in a comment what country I've lived in the longest outside of the U.S. I don't think I've talked about this, so older subscribers won't have an advantage. In the event that no one guesses the exact country, the person who picks the country closest to it will win. I'll announce the winner in my next YouTube submission, which will be in a week or 2. I'll add a pinned comment to this post announcing the winner as well. Please like, please subscribe. I'm going to add 2 links to one side of the bracelet. Before I start, I'm going to remove the bracelet's micro-adjust pin off camera so I have more clearance to size the bracelet. As you can see, the pin has been removed. I'm using a 1mm wide fork. I tried using other tools. None of them worked very well. Right now, I'm trying to push the pin out. I'm pushing very gently in the direction of the arrow, which is facing down. It's not coming out, but I'm not getting frustrated. I just keep trying. It's finally starting to come out. You could pluck it out with a jeweler's tweezers at this point if you want to. That's it. As you can see, it's out. And now I could pull the links apart. Here I'm conjoining 2 links that I had from before. I made sure that the arrows are both facing up. I'm wrestling with it. Yay. Now I'm conjoining the piece that I just conjoined with the piece that I removed from the bracelet. Now I'm reinforcing this piece by putting in pins. You can only put the pins in one way, so don't worry about putting them in backwards. I'm hammering the pins in using a watch vise and the plastic part of a watch mallet. Don't push the pins back in by slamming them down on a hard surface like the idiots on YouTube tell you to do. do it this way. I could have made life easier on myself by holding the piece while hammering the pins back in. I could have hammered the pins back in a little better, but it's good enough for government work. Final step, we merge the 4-link strip of the bracelet back into the mother bracelet. Okay, I'm trying to put the pin in the wrong link here, but you gotta cut me a little slack because it's really hard to film this and do this at the same time. What I'm doing off camera here is making sure the arrows are pointing in the same direction. You always want the arrows pointed in the same direction. We've sized our bracelet. All you got to do now is put the micro adjust pin back in and you're good to go.